Matheny, Bob and Eric, Save America. I'm going live with them in a minute. I'm going to talk elections in the States and anything else they want to talk about. It's Pop-Up Jim Fannon Show. Welcome aboard. Share it if you like. Don't if you don't. Welcome aboard, kids. If these guys are ready for me yet. I'm going to check it out with these dudes by clicking this link here. Open Zoom meetings. I hope I'm ready to go. Join with video. This is the website that you need to be checking. My camera looks like it's initializing. Join with computer audio.
Hey, Jim.
My brother, what's going on? I appreciate the time, man. You've always been so generous to the little guys, and I'm just a little guy.
You're not a little guy. You guys, first of all, Jim, just say something. Say anything.
Anything. Can you hear me?
That is the best radio voice. Doesn't this guy have a great radio voice? I would love to try to do that.
Thank you very much. It's an AT2020. It's about $300 worth, but I got a little board here my buddy lent me too. I'm kind of cobbled everything together to keep this seller session going here, brother. So I appreciate the time. You know, I was going to bring in, I'm feeling ashamed of my set. Because it's not all well, I see yours isn't so clean, but you guys usually have such great looking sets behind you. And I had this, let me see if I can do this on the fly.
Well, okay. As you can see, my green screen is not here. We are in the process of moving. There you go. Look at you. Now you're all professional. We're in the process of moving. So my green screen is packed up. So when we get to the new house, I'll have my green screen again. Until then,
this is I'm
you're
gay.
Stuck with my shitty background.
This is my I'm gay for Gavin background. So
I love Gavin. Gavin McGinnis is a great guy. I like him.
He's the best, man. One of the funniest guys on the planet. Thank God for that guy throughout this whole pandemic. It's been a blessing having the humor, and I appreciate your show too. I appreciate you ripping on Trudeau the other day because he's a cuck, for lack of a better term.
He is. So Jim Fannon, tell our viewers, listeners, who you are and what you do.
Well, I'm a failed realtor that got 25 years in real estate. I had a little radio show that I got punted from for making fun of a local festival. It's called the Grape and Wine Festival. It's one of the greatest festivals in the world. And I was razzing them on air. I didn't really know they were a sponsor, and I got cut from my radio gig, which was cool because I love the radio station atmosphere. You got the newsroom, you got the synergy, you got really good people. And so I thought that, that hurt for a little while. And then I managed to blow up my YouTube channel for a little guy like me was like 6,000 subs and about 3 million views. And it was a 10-year-old channel, but it happened from November to March last year. And then they cut me for no reason. They accused me of breaking 5H of the TOS, which I see doesn't exist anymore. But at the time, they were talking about me using a bot for likes and traffic. And, I never did that. So now I'm on my 5th YouTube channel. They just keep getting taken down. And actually, through Gavin's crew, I had a guy that watched the Jim Fannon Show and came in and said, I'll build you a site. So we're working on building a site called Trew.Tube, which will be my battleship so that I don't have to worry about censorship anymore. But I didn't know you had to have so much bandwidth and stuff like that. So it's not as easy as I thought it was going to be. But out of the love of a fan, he said, "Yeah, I'll put that thing up." And he had a website up, like a template, a WordPress template up in about 18 hours. So I've just been rebuilding, trying to find my way, and I just keep coming back to this. God didn't want me definitely in real estate. He was sending me so many messages directly, and it's sometimes he whispers, sometimes he yells, and then he throws the phone book down the stairs that lands flat on the concrete. That was me getting fired. So I said something unkind about a girl that used to be a friend of mine. Now she's an elected politician. But see, unlike you guys, I give you guys credit because you guys are conservatives to the core. I'm a 5, 6, 7-time Green Party candidate in Canada. It doesn't get any more left than that. So I've only been red pilled over the last 5 years. And dude, it's been painful. I didn't really know why. I think Jordan Peterson put it best. He says, what do you think? You're going to change the lens you look at life through and it not cause you pain? I didn't watch Trump come down the escalator. I wasn't a fan. In fact, I thought he was a doofus. And my brother used to watch The Apprentice. I'm like, he watches all those, those reality shows. It's just not my thing. I'm sports and music. And I hated Stephen Harper so much as Prime Minister of Canada that when Justin Trudeau came in, I actually had hope for a new day. I was, so it's not like I hated Justin Trudeau all the way through. I gave him a chance. And when Trump was elected, I made an agreement to myself silently. I didn't tell anyone. I just made a deal. I'm not gonna waste any of my hate on this guy, and I'm not gonna generate any new hate for him because I really understood how it tore me up hating my prime minister, who was a conservative, Prime Minister Harper. So then, because I gave Trump some space, man, he started to make me roar. He's freaking hilarious. It's the funniest president ever. And then, man, I started lining up with him on everything. I mean, immigration, perfect call, all of it. I like the way he dealt with China, specifically even when it dealt with COVID. Like, he closed the border quick. I was like, all right. When he closed the border to Europe, I was broadcasting, because then I started carrying his press conferences because they were great. They were entertaining. I was sitting there laughing away, and then sometimes I do some commentary afterwards. When he closed to Europe, I was literally, I'm like, whoa! I watched it live. I couldn't believe he did it. And now, it's been a long journey these last few years, but I really appreciate your time. I'm hoping you can answer some questions for me. I really came around on Trump. Even, my Twitter says a reluctant Trump fan. The left made me defend him so often with all the quotes taken out of context. I started seeing, he doesn't need me to defend him. Anyway, the way his take on guns, God, free speech, abortion, media bias. I really wasn't in tune to the media bias before Trump. And geez, the dude walked across the DMZ, for crying out loud. Like, how can the unemployment, the stock market? There's so many things, and so if I have any questions for you guys, it'd be because I'm kind of new to American politics. I only started watching since Trump. It's only because of Trump, and I want to know, how is it that you can have a federal election that's run by the states? I don't get it. I don't get how they are in charge of printing ballots, collecting them, counting them. Like, I get the sovereignty of the states. I learned this a little bit because when they started Chaz in Seattle, I'm like, roll the tanks, fucking flatten those freaks. Like, I was thinking last night, you could take out Chaz with 15 mall cops. Like, they're not difficult to take out. So I know roll the tanks is kind of drastic, but if it comes to that, I'm all for it. My conservative friends, my Twitter account, I've tried to build up lately. It's built by MAGA, basically. I've got so many MAGA followers now. And a lot of my followers were quick to say, hey, easy. No. What he's doing, he's going to let these guys burn themselves out. And it's good because it's before the election. You're watching all these failed democratic states and cities just burn themselves to the ground and run themselves. It's all part of the plan. Stay with it because you can't roll the tanks on sovereign states. I get that. But then I'm looking at how can the federal government allow the states to change the laws of the election, how you elect the most important person in the world, just with mail-in ballots, and they do with isn't that unconstitutional for the states to go and change the election law right before the election? Like, it blows my mind. I don't understand it.
Rampage, field this one.
It's 100% illegal. As a matter of fact, in the Constitution of the United States, it states that the presidential election will be held on such date. It doesn't talk about any other election. So there's one election that's discussed all by itself, given its own day, and we should have stayed in that vein. Because if you've got one election and it's not got all this other bullshit attached to it, you can actually concentrate on what's happening in that one election. You see, you can catch what happened in Philadelphia and stop it in its tracks. But when you're busy looking at all the congressional races and the senator races and everybody's jumping around with maps, nobody knows what's going on. The answer to your question is yes, it is illegal. And that's what Rudy Giuliani is arguing up in Philadelphia. And the question that you're going to see from Canada is the only question that you need to worry about up there is whether or not we still have a court system. And we're all waiting to find out the answer to that. If we do, Donald Trump will be in the White House on January 21st, taking the oath of office for a second time. If we do not, he will not. And I have no idea where we'll be.
Yeah, I fail to understand how one person in the United States, and I love you guys. My heart is absolutely breaking for you guys down there because of everything you're going through. I predicted Trump landslide, and I started to wane on it after the riots. I thought he handled COVID perfectly. Every good leader loves a crisis. I thought he was standing in front of the American people for over an hour and a half every day. My prime minister doesn't even take questions unless they're handpicked from his stooges. So I just thought it was great the way he's by far the most accessible president we've ever seen. And I appreciated that. So I carried a lot of his stuff, but I just, I don't know how one person in America could vote for that frail, like that's straight up elder abuse. He's frail. He's confused. He's obviously lacking, suffering, with dementia or something like that. And I just, every time he speaks, and now I'm getting to the point where, that grating, that nails on the chalkboard, that's his voice. That's AOC's voice. That's Kamala Harris's voice. I call her Kamala Harris. I know that's horrible, but my heart's breaking for you guys. I hope they get it right. And I fell for this little, there's non-radioactive isotopes printed on the DHS ballots. And I'm like, hang on, the states prints the ballots. But just for a second, I was like, we got him. We got him.
Yeah, so was I. Me too. I'm not going to lie. I went down that road too.
I'm like, Trump is 5D chess. He's got these guys right where he wants them. I knew it. The guy's genius. And then I'm like, wait a second. DHS, I start looking up who prints the ballots. And I knew all along that the states were in charge because we've all heard.
Brought that up, by the way.
What's that?
Sidney Powell brought that up in her 104-page lawsuit.
I want to like her too, but she looks like a mental case. I know she's a great lawyer, but she's just so far off in conspiracy land. I want to believe, man. I want to believe that the fix is in, and I want to believe that he rights the ship. But hey, either way we lose on this. I say we, like I've got lots of family and friends in the States, all over the States. I love the States. I only just started recently calling United States of America the greatest country on the planet because I always thought Canada was, but we're not. We don't have free speech up here. If you misgender someone, you're going off to human rights. And then if they convict you of human rights and you don't pay your fine, guess what? You go to jail for speech. They talk about Gavin's, Crowder's buddy in Montreal that made that joke, and they arrested him for a joke. He's a comedian. So God bless you, man. I hope everything goes well. But yeah, I say either way we're screwed on this, because if Trump comes in, if he's appointed by the House or however he gets in now, I don't know. I don't think Antifa's going to stop, but I don't know how these guys get away with it. And it's all Democratic run cities and states. I'm not the brightest guy in the world, but I can see that the Democrats, not only do they tolerate it, they welcome the rioting and the burning and the murder. I think Gavin's got the murder rate at 32 now. He did a whole episode on that, and $3 billion in private property damage. It absolutely breaks my heart. And then, since it's been kind of quiet since this whole election thing's been going on, now I can't look away from my Prime Minister cuck that comes out 3 times a week and reads a statement. And provincially here, we got the same guy in a Conservative in Ford. Comes up and reads the statement to the people. I can read off of it. Come, just talk to us. Bring your notes. You know what you want to say. Just be a real guy. This is not fucking Hollywood. And then he stands in the corner like a stiff with his hands out at his side because he's shaped like Chuck the Dancing Bear. I'm not even sure who Chuck the Dancing Bear is.
No, but Jim, the thing is, your prime minister said something very telling. I don't know if he was supposed to, but he called COVID the Great Reset. He called it an opportunity. Mm-hmm. And that makes you think, what's really at play here? What's really going on? And when you look at COVID and you look at Bill Gates and vaccines and you look at everything tied together, the overlying arch of it all is a depopulation agenda, Agenda 21. The 2030 agenda. This is what they want. They think that all the problems in the world stem from a lack of resources. Well, how do you prevent a lack of resources? Less people fighting over these resources. Everything from climate change to poverty can be tied to overpopulation. Look at the vaccine trials he's done overseas. Look at what he's done in India and Africa. You have like 500,000 kids who are becoming paralyzed or disabled from these vaccines. I'm not letting Bill Gates put anything in my body. What happened to my body, my choice? I think there are some evil forces at play here. And I think the idea is to reset the world, to have a global government, no nations, no religion. I mean, look at what they were doing with Thanksgiving just last week. But we've been talking about it on the show all day, no restrictions on Black Friday. Go out and buy, go support Amazon. Amazon and Walmart are reporting record earnings. Mm-hmm. The Dow is over 30,000. I assure you that's not because of small business.
No, for
sure. So I really think there are forces at play here to reset the global economy. And all roads, unfortunately, lead to China because that's what China's got in mind. They want to, all the roads lead through China. They want to be 2030. They want to be the manufacturing, global trade, logistical hub of the world. And if Joe Biden is the president, we are going to hand that to them. We are going to cede American supremacy in this world. We are the global hegemon. We're going to cede that position to China.
Yeah, I want to believe in the conspiracy theory, and I'm sure there's a lot of evidence for that. I want to believe in the whole idea that the Democrats and the liberals up here want to break privately owned businesses. They want to take your guns because they want you to be dependent on the government. They want you to not only be dependent on them so that they can keep you afloat with their welfare, but then it buys them votes. And I've asked this question too, and that's why I was looking forward to coming out here today to ask you guys questions about, changing the rules before the election. Why doesn't you got to have some federal infrastructure that's all over the states? Can't you just make them, in charge of the ballots? And this was my question the other day is, what is the end game here? What is are they just trying to break us so that we're dependent on them, so we keep electing them? Because personally, I know they're evil. I don't think they're all that smart, though. Are they really that connected and that organized and that devious and to take us down in such a fashion? I don't know. I give them too much credit if I start believing in that stuff because I don't think they're that bright.
What say you, Rampage?
I say you would have said the same thing about what we're dealing with right now 10 years ago, but we're sitting in it right now dealing with it.
What do you mean 10 years ago?
Well, 10 years ago, the idea that we'd have an election, have this happen, would be as far-fetched.
It would be ludicrous. Yeah, you'd be laughing.
That's what he's saying right now. So what I'm saying is if you take where he's sitting now, he's being conditioned. He just is kind of getting red pill. I can see the red pill happening in this guy right now. He's taking the red pill as he's on our show right now, and he's been taking it for a few months. But at the same time, the people that have taken the red pill were sitting here wondering the same exact things that this man's asking, right? So where were U.S. Marshals inside these places? We did know that something was going to happen. It seems to me, in hindsight, like we did this and closed our eyes and jumped into a toilet bowl like on the Dave Chappelle show with the election. We know that they want to do it, but we're going to cross our fingers and hope that we beat his ass so bad that they can't do it. And in reality, that's why they paused the election, because he was doing that. And we just didn't realize how big the fix was. And now we're scrambling around afterwards trying to figure it out when there should have been DOJ involvement from the beginning.
Yep.
There should have been DOJ. The DOJ should have came out and said, fine, you want mail-in ballot elections. That's okay. This is a federal election, so there's going to be U.S. Marshals posted in every single ballot counting location in the country. And the DOJ can do this. U.S. Marshals, the Secret Service, they could have all gotten involved. And it says, fine, we'll meet you in the middle. You want mail-in ballots? We want all of these places monitored for fairness. And we wouldn't be sitting here right now if Bill Barr had just simply done that. Totally legal. Totally legal.
You know, and I get the hypocrisy of the left. It always burns my ass because I'm still kind of a lefty. And Rampage, I love your thoughts. This has been a 5-year red pilling for me. I'm there. I'm all yours.
I'm with you. I'm a liberal. Yeah. I was happy that we elected Barack Obama the first time until a year
so much hope, and he did shit. I thought he would legalize marijuana. At least I wanted him to open up the industrial hemp trade in the States because it's a great crop. And he did nothing. Yeah. He did nothing. And, I've been doing the odd protest in front of Marineland here in Niagara Falls. I'm down the street from Niagara Falls. And I used to work at Marineland. I worked there for 5 years, from 11 to 15 or something as a kid. I used to go in and pet the whale, and they had a baby can-do in the aquarium. And he used to roll over. I used to scratch. It was a great experience. But then, you start to think, oh, this is gross, man. And I saw the underbelly of it. So I've been to a couple of those protests. Those protesters that are protesting caged animals are all pro-choice, my body, my choice, up to 9 months. And you say my body, my choice. Listen, I haven't put a fucking mask on once since they mandated here in August, after the first wave was, down below recorded. You couldn't even record the levels of COVID in Niagara here. What are the my body, my choices? Nobody gives me a hard, who started giving me a hard time on masks? My own family. I haven't had one person at one place say anything other than when I walk in, no, I'm exempt. No problem. Nobody gives me dirty looks. But dudes, I have not seen one person since August. And I only go, I go to the liquor store, I go to the grocery store, I go to Tim Hortons, whatever, my donut coffee place, drive through my corner store. In my travels since August, and I don't go out that much, I haven't seen one other person refuse to wear a mask. Not one. I swear, if I see a pretty girl without a mask, I'm going to get down on one knee and say, baby, you're marry me. Because everyone's been so, and this is another thing that breaks my heart, everyone's been so quick to jump in line. They haven't done research. Do masks work? I don't know. What's in those masks? Oh, I don't know. Who cares? I mean, it just breaks my heart that people are so quick. My body, my choice. Well, no mask. Oh, well, you don't care about other people. Oh, you hate old people. I think in Canada, I saw a stat the other day, we're 90 plus old age homes deaths. That's it for COVID in Canada. It's all old age homes. And no one wants to talk these for-profit old age homes that are probably governed by the province. That's where that's where the deaths are coming from. And guess what? They skimp and save to make money. It's a cash cow for these guys. Breaks my heart. It
absolutely is. Jim, tell all the viewers where they can find you. Where can they find you online, and where can they listen to your show? Great show. I've been a guest on it twice. I absolutely love being a guest on your show. Yeah. So where can they find it?
I love you for that, brother. Thank you very much. And thanks to all the guys. Nice to meet you. And tell Coach, just give me a follow. Come on, bro. You're the only guy not following me.
Matt, follow Jim. Come on, Matt.
It's his mortal weakness.
So we're setting up Trew.Tube. I didn't know that, .tube was a thing, but my web guy, the guy I met through McInnes's show that was a fan of mine, built the site. He did all that kind of stuff. So we're branding it up. It's kind of weak right now, but it'll be live soon. So Trew.Tube. I do have Trew.Tube, Trew, I should say, does have a channel on. I just passed 100 subs. I got my vanity plate, baby.
Hey, that's a milestone.
Yeah. And now I got to get to 1,000, but I'm on 2 strikes. I got to make it till the end of December. That'll never happen. They're giving me retroactive strikes all the time. And I stopped putting up clips of McInnes because as soon as I put one up, I'm gone. I got a community guy on strike. So,
Jim,
yeah.
Do you work with Gavin McInnes?
No. I'm gay for Gavin. I love the man. I think he's hilarious. I've been a caller on his show many times. Yeah, I just run a comedy bit when I call him. Usually I did a violent sex one, asked him for advice when your girl asks you to slap her across the face and then says harder, and then he reacts to it. It's great. So I usually treat it as a comedy bit. So I'm trying. I would like to work my way onto that network or or a network like it, because just being alone by yourself is almost impossible to do. So I do have a YouTube channel at Jim Fannon on Twitter. It's pretty much socialmediaplatform.com/Jim Fannon, FANNON. So that's pretty much where you find me.
Well, Jim, we want to thank you for joining us this morning and have the viewers find you. Thank you so much for stopping by, and keep doing the great work you're doing.
Stay golden, brothers. I love you all. Peace out.
Thank you, Jim.
Oh, you're welcome. My pleasure.
Great job, Jim. Thank you so much.
Later, bro.
We'll get it streamed out at 2:30. I'll send it to you.
All right. You're already live with me, so I appreciate you letting me scoop your show, man. That's awesome.
Wow. Awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, everyone's got a preview of your show coming up just for this segment. So
good deal, man.
Thank you very much, boys, and goodbye to everybody but Matt. Fuck him.
We'll get Matt to follow you. We'll talk to him.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Love you. Peace out.
Take care. Have a great day.
All right. Ciao.
3, 2, 1.
I'm out. See, that's how you do the Eric Matheny show. That's Bob and Eric Save America. And I'll probably see a little bump in my followers after that. Only because, look at him. He's got like 137,500 followers. That does not suck. I hope you were able to hear everything. Because, excuse me, my Tim Hortonson's coming back on me. They had me set envy. I was a little ashamed of my set, and I tried to. I did bring up my my I'm gay for Gavin background there. So Eric Matheny is the host. It's Eric, Bob, and Eric Save America. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys, dudes, you need to rename this show, rebrand it. Just Bob and Eric Save. Period. Just Bob and Eric Save, because, dude, you guys are way past the borders of America, and I love the work that you're doing. So peace, love, hug your neighbor, and rip that mask off. I'm out.